Greetings and welcome to another Warhammer 40,000 kill team video. Today I'm going over the topic of charge blocking. But before we get into things, please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of this video and whether you found it useful. And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below, as well as a Patreon if you want to give me some more support, and affiliate link to Element Games if you want to give me some more support as well. But yeah, I'm going over charge blocking with another Tactica video. This is actually something I planned to do a long time ago and I just kind of forgot. So I'll be going through the basics of that and, covering how to use it and like its drawbacks and strengths, because even though it's kind of been a thing for a while, it was first kind of coined as a term name by my friend Itan, and he would have seen it on the channel as well, because he kind of pioneered it first and then I reverse engineered it and refined it, and then kind of everyone does it now. And it's just become a term people talk about, but if you're not really aware of it, doesn't make much sense. So that's why I want to bring it up to speed, because it's a very powerful and useful thing to do, because there's a lot of times where you want to keep someone safe but you just kill someone, because like charge blocking is effectively charging but not necessarily fighting. You're charging to get into position, but I'll go into the basics of that. I'll quickly cut away from here and then I'll go with some proper explanations and some actual video proof, well, not proof, examples, and then we'll come back here. Okay, so for the basics of charge blocking, it's kinda as it says, you charge to block someone. So for example, as you can see here, we've got my veteran guardsman plasma gunner. We'll assume they're on engage and they've activated, and then I've got my Corsair Knight, who is my melee specialist. Now I can easily just charge into there and kill him, but behind him is still a fully activated kill team of the veteran guardsmen. So what do? Do I just charge in, get the kill and go, I've got a 1-for-1 trade? No, I can charge block instead. And what that basically means is I can charge and then just pass. So you can now charge in to there and pass, because now while you're in engagement range, the only people who can deal with you are other melee operatives. And as the veteran guardsmen don't have many melee operatives, my operative is now safe for the entire turning point. He could throw operatives in to try and kill me, but because I've got power weapons with re-rolling and parrying first, I'm basically safe. But that's the basic gist, because now my opponent has no way to kill him. Because his gunner has activated, he now can't fall back this turning point. There is a downside next turning point that he could just fall back, or I could activate first and then fight and then just charge block again. And I am sacrificing my ability to, get efficiency out of my kills. But the issue is here, I've made this operative completely safe, I'm outnumbered, but now my opponent can't really kill me. And especially with the change to how parrying works in the FAQs, so you can now parry out even if your opponent has no hits. So I could parry out his hits and then leave him injured. So even if next turn he falls back, he's injured. Even if he tries to fight me first, he's injured. That kind of stuff. So that's the basic gist. And as I said, the reason why you would charge block like this is to keep your operative safe. But it's especially powerful when you charge into operatives who don't really specialize in melee as this gunner, because it costs 2 action points to fall back. He's only hitting with 3 dice on 4s, doing 2 free damage. So even if he does choose to fight me next turning point, he's not really doing much. Even though I've effectively charged in and passed, I have shut down this gunner. So it does become weaker if the enemy kill team has the ability to fall back for 1 AP less, or can shoot into combat, such as with Pathfinders, who, you do actually want to charge block a lot, but they have tools for shooting into combat. But it's something to keep in mind. This is very powerful, as I said, during the start of turning point 2 or 3. Let's say you've got a key operative to keep alive, like your leader. You can now just go okay, I'll charge in. And even if you're the first one to activate, you can now charge in to nullify a gunner. You're more likely to charge in and kill, but as I said, you could charge in your melee specialist into their gunner, and now all their gunner can do is fight and die or fall back. And that's what they'll have to do, because if they have no tools to shoot into combat, then your opponent can't punish that, because all they can do is send in melee operatives, because, well, they can't shoot into combat. And this is especially powerful when you're trying to claim objectives, like when you're trying to slow down loot or stuff like that. it's very strong. So it's situational. I still wouldn't always charge block, and you have to keep in mind the downside of just charging for the sake of charging. But there's still more you can do outside of that. So let's say in this situation you have free APL. Either you're, like as the picture shows, my Intercession Squad Black Templar leader, or you have a comms giving you +1 APL. You can now charge, fight to the point where they're weakened, and then capture the point. Now what this does is, once again, you've weakened someone and shut someone down who's a ranged operative, but you've also capped the point and kept yourself safe. So this is another tool for it. It's really powerful on stuff like Into the Dark, you know, where you can move, well, you can't really charge and open the door, but it's like charging into the middle of the room, onto a point, going, oh, I could charge, kill you and claim this point, but I'll just be left in the open. So what I'm gonna do is charge, claim the point, maybe fight you and power you out until you're injured, or just fight, or just pass. Because the issue is now all you can do is send someone in to fight my dedicated melee operative, or just fall back, and then it allows the rest of my team to move into the room or onto this point. It's very good to use charge blocking like this when you have multiple APL. And other stuff I like to do, let's say I'm going into the next turning point. What I can do is fight, kill him, because, you know, I am an intercessor leader, shoot someone with my plasma pistol, and then charge block again. So you can kind of, if you charge block right, in terms of your opponent has accidentally set up in such a way where you can charge multiple operatives, you can just set up turning points of like step ladder charge blocks, where you can go, I'll charge and then pass, next turning point I'll kill, if I have another APL, I'll shoot and then I'll charge again, or just I'll charge and shoot in this step blocking thing. And then another powerful thing is charging into groups of enemy opponents. Now this doesn't seem like quite a use of charge blocking, but once it is, again, let's say the gunner, let's say the normal warrior is activated, but the gunner hasn't. So my, you know, as you can see, legionary chosen can charge in, kill the gunner, and then just hang about there. Or what you can do is charge both, kill one, and then like leave the gunner alive, or the, you know, basically it's really good for anchoring your melee units. So while you want to like ideally charge block someone who has activated, if you can charge someone who has activated next to someone who hasn't activated, what you can do is still get efficiency out from your charge block kill. Because even if this gunner has activated, you can go, okay, I'm going to charge you both. I'm going to kill your unactivated normal Pathfinder warrior and just sit in combat with your gunner. You know, you can shoot and try and like delay and wait to try and kill me out. But either way, I've nullified an activation and I've effectively kept my chosen safe from the rest of your shooting, assuming they don't have any command points or they've already popped them for shooting into combat, stuff like that. And then once again, going into the next turning point, he'll either have to spend a command point to shoot into combat or fall back and dash out and shoot. You know, once again, costing more resources while I've kept my leader safe. And especially if I'm on a point, because I have 3 APL, I'll have 1 more APL than them. And, you know, excluding the power of the Pathfinders, with all their tools to deal with charge blocking, this is probably the most useful thing. Because, you know, ideally you want to charge block multiple operatives, because it's the most efficient thing to do, because even though your opponent is getting +1 to hit, if you're a dedicated melee specialist, you don't really care too much because you're going to get a lot out of that. And now finally, charge blocking with gunners. So it's basically charge blocking with operatives that don't really have any melee specialism, because charge blocking isn't just limited to melee operatives. They benefit the most from it, but so can your ranged operatives. Now, once again, this is when you're using charge blocking into other ranged operatives. So I wouldn't really charge block a gunner into a melee specialist. That's kind of a waste. Although you can do it to waste their fight action. So for example, if they're a melee specialist that can only fight once, you can charge in and go, cool, you can fight me and then charge someone else, but all you're going to do is fight and then charge. I've already activated, so I'm not going to lose an activation. So let's imagine my Pathfinder gunner started on conceal, switched to engage, blew someone up, and then I've got 1 action point left. What do I do? Well, I can see a gunner on engaged. They are 8 inches away, and I do charge 8 inches. They have no tools to fire into combat, or fall back for 1 AP less. So what I'm going to do is I've fired my gun and I'm just going to charge into your gunner because I couldn't get a shot on your gunner because your gunner is concealed. But now your gunner is effectively useless unless you can somehow send in melee operatives to kill me in return. And especially if they don't have that, their only option now is to fall back with their gunner and that's it. So you've gotten a kill and then used your own ranged operative to nullify their ranged operative without having to fire a shot. So you've effectively got a 2-for-1 trade, which is amazing. And this is the real power of charge blocking because, you know, it's not only just keeping an operative alive, it's shutting down an opponent's key operative. But those are basically the key concepts of charge blocking. So yeah, that's pretty much it for my video on charge blocking. I hope it made a lot of sense because once again, it's just like a skill in the game that isn't really talked about in terms of if you're in person, yeah. But in general, people say like, oh, charge blocking and you won't get it. So these kind of videos I do to help make everyone aware of it because it's a useful ability and it can definitely change how games work. So for example, you know, using someone to charge to get into position just pass, because it's very powerful. Like other things you can combine it with in the latest FAQ, it says, you know, you can parry out even if you've got, your opponent has no hits left. So you can even charge block to the point where you leave someone on like 1 or 2 wounds or where they're injured and then you just stay there because you know next turn, even if they win initiative, you know, they're injured hitting you back and even if they fall back, they can't go too far. So it's stuff like that. It's a way to offset the power of shooting teams and also excel at the use of your melee operatives because it just keeps them in the game longer, strengthens your positioning. And, you know, while you don't always want to do it, because, you know, charge blocking can also mess up your own positioning if you use it too much, it's just a nice tactic to use. And the more you develop it for your kill team and the more you find ways to work it around your kill team, the better. Because for example, like, you know, the exaction squad, the RBTs, they can shoot into combat. So you can charge someone and then go, cool, you can't fall back, but if you fall back, you know, you'll just be falling back. But I've got guys who can shoot into combat, so it doesn't make too much difference for me. Or even Pathfinders, even though they hate being charged, you know, you can charge someone and then go, I'll spend a CP to shoot into combat now, like stuff like that. So it starts off quite simple, and then the more, depending on your kill team, it can get very in-depth. But yeah, I hope that made sense. It's just another, well, hopefully short Tactica video, one of many I plan to keep doing. But that's pretty much it for today. Please remember to like and subscribe as well as comment. Let me know what you thought of this video. Did you find it useful, helpful? Would you like to see me make more? And remember, I've got a Discord you can check out in the episode description below for free, as well as an affiliate link at Element Games if you want to give me some more support, and also a Patreon. And I'll just quickly thank my patrons. So for my adepts of the crit, I have Screech, Sam, Robin, Nick, Kenzie, John Thomas, Eric, Captain Murder, Daniel, Dad of Goldens, Average Joe 27, Arthur, and then for my veterans of the crit, I have Samja. So thank you so much. Your support really means a lot to me and helps support the channel. So thank you. But yeah, that's pretty much it for me. I should have another video this week just because of scheduling. So hopefully it's a planned topic I have. If not, it'll be something else. But yeah, I need to keep practicing and yeah, trying to get more bat reps done. So I want to get more battle reports done because I mean, I have tournaments coming up, but I want to just do some more relaxed stuff to avoid burnout. But yeah, I hope this Tactica was useful. And just remember, no matter how many times you're charge blocked, there's always chance to win, as long as you can roll a crit.